Hello, everyone. Namaste. How are you,
Good.
Naringa?
Very
Good.
good, thank you.
How are you, Anuradha ji? Okay, so let's begin today's session. Sit up straight on your mat. Hands on your knees. And then close your eyes. Take a deep breath in. A long exhale out. Let's chant together with 3 Om. Inhale. Join your hands together in front of your heart center. Bend your head forward. Open your eyes while blinking. And namaste to everyone.
Namaste.
So what did we discuss yesterday? Do you remember anything?
Of course, cat and cow.
Okay, yes, we discussed about cat and cow, and we also talked about protraction and retraction. Okay, so let's talk about today mobility, stability in our joints. Okay, so as you may already know that we do have mobility and stability in our body. Okay, so usually we find mobility in our joints, but that flexibility that in our muscles. Okay, so our body is designed in such a way where stability, mobility that comes after another one. If we talk about our joints, our body joints, let's start with the foundation with our feet. Okay, so if we talk about our toes, how they are they stable or are they mobile? What do you feel like?
Mobile.
Your toes, they see stability has two actions only, flexion and extension. But if you have mobility, then it will make a circle. It will have circumduction. Okay, so if we talk about our toes, can you make a circle through your toes? No. So it means it has stability. You can only flex or you can only extend. So we do have only two actions here in our toes. Okay, so let's move further to the ankle. So in our ankle, what do we have? Does it have mobility or stability?
Stability.
Because you can make a circle. It can flex, it can extend, it can move out to the side, it can move out to the other side. It means it has that mobility. Okay, so let's move further to your knees. Does it have stability or mobility?
Stability. Go circle.
Yeah, what did you say? Stability or mobility?
Stability because it cannot go in circle.
Mobility?
Stability.
Stability because it can only extend or flex. You cannot make a circle. If you're making circle from your knee, it means that this action is directly coming from your hip joint. So that is like allowing us to make a circle. If we just fix our hips and make it stable, make it stiff, then we cannot make a circle. We will just only extend and flex. Understood? So we do have stability in our knee joint. So this is the main reason when we have knee joint pain, maybe we are twisting our and maybe we are twisting our knee joint. That is why we usually that causes this knee pain. Okay, so that is why we have to always bring that stability in our knee joint, and we have to build its strength, not that flexibility in your knee joint. Okay. And what about your hip joint here in your pelvic girdle, your legs? How are they supposed to be? Mobile. Because we do have like 4 actions there: abduction, adduction, extension, and flexion. Right? We can extend our leg upward. This is called flexion of your leg. This is extension when you're taking your leg backward. When you're taking your right leg out to the right side, that is abduction. When you bring it close to your body, that is called adduction. Okay, so there are 4 actions, or you can make a circle through your leg. So it means it does have this mobility. But if you're not making it mobile, if you're not working on your legs, then you will have that stiffness. So wherever we do have mobility, we have to work out there. Okay, if you don't work out there, then it that may cause that shoulder impingement or hip impingement. Have you heard people when they lift their arms up and then they feel a lot of pain on their shoulder socket or on their hip girdle because their hip joint are not mobile? Okay, so before we get into any pose, make sure you are already mobile or you work out into your joints. That is why we usually do in the beginning that joint movements. Okay, so just work on that joints first, work on that mobility, and mobility, just work on the mobility, not stability, just work on the mobility. Then let's move further to your lower back. So our spine is divided into cervical, thoracic, and then lumbar region, then sacrum, and then coccyx. Okay, so let's move on to your lumbar region. So lumbar region, how it should be? It is mobile or stable?
Stable.
Stable. But when you twist, like when you're twisting back, it can twist, it can bend forward, you can bend back, right?
Then mobile.
Then mobile. No, I just want you to feel that how it is, like don't say like mobile or stable. Just feel like how can you make a circle through it with your
But
with your
with your spine you cannot make a circle.
Yeah, with your spine you cannot make a circle. So your lumbar region is your stable. Okay, lumbar region is stable. What about your thoracic region?
It can move half.
Yes, Anuradha ji.
Whole spine stable because we can't move to any part of the spine in a surface position except the lower one, which is joined with the hip.
Yes, except the lower back and cervical region, we can we can like twist, we can lateral bend, we can flex, or we can extend from our thoracic region only. Okay, so if you're twisting your spine like this, so this is, it's like somewhere it is making a circle, right? So when you're twisting your spine, that is twisting from your thoracic region. So it should be mobile, it should not be stable. If you have stiffness in your lower back or on your thoracic region, then you will again have that that pinching pain on your nerves, right? That usually happens when your muscles are stiff, then it will start to pinch your particular muscle, like sciatica pain. One of the reason sciatica pain, because we do have one preforming muscle in our hip joint over here. So when it gets tight, it is going to pinch your sciatica nerve. Okay, so make sure wherever it is mobile, we have to make it mobile, not make it stable. And wherever it is stable, we don't need to work out there. We need to just work on the strength of that particular part or particular region. Okay, so your thoracic region should be mobile because it can twist. Like when you're twisting back, it's twisting from your thoracic region, from here, from the bottom of your thoracic vertebra. And what about your cervical? Cervical means your back of your neck.
like it is connected with the neck, so it is mobile. Like we can move our neck.
Yeah, we can move our neck, but we cannot move our cervical region or our neck. Okay, we can move our skull. See, when I'm just turning my head up and down, I'm not my cervical region is stable, but my skull is moving up, down, extend, flex. Everything is happening there, but my cervical region is stable.
Yeah.
Okay. And what about your shoulder? It should be mobile. Everybody knows we are supposed to open our arms. If you have good mobility in your shoulder socket, then you won't have any like shoulder impingement.
Right.
Then what about your elbows? How they are supposed to be?
Yes, straighten.
They are supposed to be stable. And what about your wrist? It should be mobile, right? And what about your fingers? They should be stable. See, alternatively, this is happening. Your stability, mobility, that is coming after another one. Got it?
Yeah.
Okay. So when do you know the structure of your spine, how it is designed? When you see your cervical region, just look at my spine. Look at my cervical region. It's like making arch over here, but in our lower back, again it's making arch. But in your thoracic region, it is making hump. Okay, so it is arch over here in your cervical region, back of your neck, and again in your lumbar region you have arch, but in thoracic region you have hump on your back. Did you understand what I mean? What I mean to say here? So
Yeah.
your thoracic region does have this hump, but your cervical region and your lumbar region, they do have this arch, slight arch on the back. Okay, so when this arch gets deep, that is called lordosis. Lordosis. Have you heard this name before? Lordosis?
No.
No? So,
Can you spell it, sir?
yes.
Can you spell it like so
Lordosis,
I can like
Lordosis. Okay, this is your lordosis. In lordosis, what happens? When you lower region, see, we do have stability in our lumbar region, in our cervical region. When we do not extend, neither we are extending nor flexing. When it takes some like when you do not when you're not on the practice, when you're not practicing with your lumbar region and your cervical region, then you get your you get your lumbar region muscles and cervical region muscles stiff. Okay, so then your cervical region arch and your lumbar region arch that gets deeper. Okay, then you start to have that pelvic tilting forward. Okay, so make sure when you are bending forward, see, okay, let me show you, then you will understand. Let's suppose you have lordosis in your back. You may have seen people who has this anterior pelvic tilt. So this happens because of this lordosis. When you have this lordosis on your lower back, when you have lordosis on your cervical region. Let's suppose you have lordosis on your lower back. So it is going to be stiff and that is going to tilt your hips forward like this. Okay, so what does it mean? These muscles are very tight. They are like pulling you down towards the floor, and these muscles does not have strength. That is why it is not keeping you in the center like this. It does not have strength, but it has a lot of tightness. So whoever has this lordosis, we are going to work on their forward bend so that it is going to be flexed and it is going to be flexible. Okay, the same thing happens in your cervical region when you have this tightness in your cervical region muscle. Again, we are going to work on that flexibility of that particular region, and we are going to work on the strength of this anterior group of muscles of your neck. Okay. Have you seen people with a flat feet?
Yeah.
Okay. So when we do have flat
What
feet, yes,
is it, sir?
flat feet. There are three type of feet: flat feet, normal arch, and high arch. Flat feet means when you're collapsing inward. When your like center, like your body mass is going to be that is going to be pulled inward to the center of the gravity. That is called flat feet. When your plantar flexion, the plantar fascia does not have enough strength. So this is your normal arch, what you have got here in front. So when you have flat feet, it is going to be collapsed and it will be all the way flat.
Flat.
Okay, that is called flat feet. So when you have flat feet, your whole body weight is going to be tilting inward like this. The moment when you have flat feet, you will have also knock knees. The moment when you have knock knees, your hip will start to tilting forward. Like when you have flat feet, your knee will come together and your hip will tilting forward like this. Okay, so this is called anterior pelvic tilt. This is called anterior pelvic tilt. When you have this anterior pelvic tilt, your hip flexors muscles over here, that is also going to be tight. Okay, and your inner thigh muscles that are also going to be tight. So how are we going to cure those people who has flat feet or who have this tightness on their hip flexors, on their inner thigh? There are some of the postures that we can follow, like frog pose.
What pose?
Frog pose. Butterfly, in which we have that stretch on our inner thighs. Do you guys know?
What about like if they move forward and they have tendency to go forward fold, how about the back bends? Would the bends help?
Yes, I do not hear. I'm really sorry. Could you please repeat again?
So if you have flat feet, you have tendency inward and go forward. Would the back bends help?
See, no, back bend will not help them. See, back bend will help only over here in your thoracic region and your abdomen in your cervical region. But your lumbar region will not be that much helpful. See, here we have hip flexors. They are tight. You can do back bends, but not that extended one. Okay, where you are going to that optimum level. So you just need to work out over here in your hip flexors, like this Aswasanchalala horse riding pose, in which you are going to directly trigger out these muscles. Okay, so we are going to trigger out only these muscles over here. If you are doing back bend, see, when you have anterior pelvic tilt, let's suppose you have anterior pelvic tilt. What is going to happen here? These muscles are tight and your lower region muscles are tight. But your butt does not have strength, neither nor your abdomen has strength. Okay, so these hip flexor muscles are tight and your lower back muscles are tight. That is why it's like moving forward and this is going to pull you down.
Yeah.
Understood? So we are going to work on the forward bend and we are going to also work over here in our hip flexors. So whichever pose is going to help, whichever pose is going to trigger out these muscles, that poses will be considered as the counter poses.
Right.
Okay, so if you have flat feet or if you have knock knees, so what are the poses that we are going to do?
What knee?
What are the poses that are we going to do if we have flat feet or knock knees? See, when you have flat feet, that is then we will have this knock knees. When you have knock knees, that is then you will have this anterior pelvic tilt. Okay, this is all. These are connected. Yes.
Sir, the frog pose and the butterfly pose, it is specifically for the flat feet, and what it will do, the knees will come outside, like if they are tilted inside, so they will come outside.
See, when you have flat feet, when you have knock knees, they are coming together. So whichever posture in which we are sending our knees away from each other, that is we consider as this, that will be helping out for those who has knock knees. Okay. So you just need to take your knees away from each other because you have knock knees, like your knees are coming together. You have to send your knees away from each other. Then it will be, consider as that will cure your problem.
Like side lunges.
Side lunge, high lunges. Okay, high lunges. Yeah, high lunges. That is going to help for those who has this anterior pelvic tilt.
Lotus.
Locus. Yes, locus pose. Yes, locus pose is going to strengthen your lower back, but it won't.
No, not locus, not locus. Lotus.
Okay, lotus pose. Lotus pose. Can you show me
Because
lotus pose?
the
How do
knees
you
go
do
away from each other, right?
lotus pose? But everybody cannot do this lotus pose. If you have knock knees, that will be very hard for them to, because they have like too much stability or too much this stiffness in their knee joint. It will be hard for them. It will be very hard for them to like bend their knee or attach their knee on other leg. Okay, so you can do other poses like frog pose, this pigeon pose that you can try. Okay.
What
And
about Hindulasana?
which asan? Indra Dhanusasan. What did you say? Naring. Okay. Anuradha ji, bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, what did you say, Naringa ji? Hello. Yeah, which asan did you say? I cannot hear you. Unmute yourself. You are mute already.
Okay. I said, what about Hindulasana? You know, the leg cradle.
Okay. So yeah, that is also going to help because here we are like working on the mobility of our hip joint. So this is also going to help out. Okay. See, when you have stiffness in your muscle, that is not directly coming from your muscle. It may be coming from your hip joint or that particular joint from where that allows us to move. Okay, let's suppose if you have so much stiffness in your hip joint or knee joint, and if we like we say like our muscles are stiff or we are not that much flexible, we just need to work first of all on our joints and then work for that. Then we will work out on our muscles. Okay, so first, before you get into the class, we are going to work on the hip joint, and then we are going to work on the joint movements and all.